Hey guys, Enis here with Whiteacre Properties. Today I'm bringing you to Natick, exactly where our office is located. And for you guys that are new to the channel, first time you see this video, or don't know what Whiteacre Properties is all about, we are Boston-based real estate investors. We buy fix and flips, wholesale, we build ground up new construction, and we own rentals. But specifically today, I want to go over our Sudbury project. It's a fix and flip project that we bought, completed, and I want to go over all the numbers with you guys. I want to share how we found the property, how we came up with our offer price, go over the rehab budget, and actually most importantly, share with you guys the profit and loss numbers. So let's go inside and we'll get started on all that. So guys, in this episode, we'll talk about 14 Churchill Street in Sudbury. It's a recent fix and flip property that we bought, renovated, put on the market, and we are supposed to close in the next few days. So by the time you watch this video, we probably are completely done and out of that transaction. So let's get started and talk about how we found the property. Again, it's the most important thing. Everyone is struggling finding deals. We have been successful at going direct to sellers, meaning we don't usually buy on the MLS. We do direct mail, we cold call, we door knock, we'll do anything to just go and talk to a homeowner one-on-one before it goes on the MLS. And the reason we do that is to avoid any bidding wars with other potential buyers. This one, though, the property in Sudbury was a little different because it came to us as a lead from an agent. And recently we have been working with agents a lot where they call us with a property that has problems. Either it's run down, maybe they want to close in a week or two. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why agents come to us. And mostly it's because they know we are going to close on time and we're going to pretty much make it easy for the homeowner. This agent, he's a friend, he has been following us for a while, he brought us a couple leads before, and on this one, he pretty much came to us first before listing it on the MLS. It was a property that needed everything, but it was totally run down. It needed a full gut rehab, and that's what we love. We like dealing with mold, we like dealing with properties that need everything. And he said, I got this single family property, they're asking for $325,000. It's in Sudbury. He gave us the address and he was like, make me an offer. I would love to work with you guys, but that's what they need. They need $325,000. So I want to stop there for a second because today what I want to do is I want you guys to follow me and my thought process about coming up with a cash offer. Is the 325 a good deal? Is it a bad deal? You know, depending on where you at in what part of Massachusetts or outside of the state, it might seem like a lot of money, or it might seem like nothing. It might seem cheap. However, I'll show you exactly the process that we follow to make sure the offer price is something that's going to make us money, because it's important to buy right. I mean, it's cliche, but it's totally true that you got to buy right in real estate, because whatever happens later, if you mess up the rehab budget or maybe you calculated the after repair value wrong, you can still make out okay and make a profit if you follow the 70% rule. So the 70% rule, it's actually a formula we follow all the time. Sometimes we do go up to 75%. I mean, I obviously want to be an open book and give you guys exactly the thought process here of what we do, but typically we want to shoot for 70% because that always guarantees us a pretty decent profit in every deal, every transaction. And what the 70% rule stands for is 70% times after repair value minus repairs. So it's 70% times ARV minus repairs. For this particular property, I want to actually share the screen and see how that translates in real numbers. So guys, let me show you what I mean by the 70% rule specifically to our Sudbury property. But it's a formula we use all the time, and I just mentioned what that really breaks down to. But specifically for our subject property, it's 70% times $850,000 minus $250,000 in repairs, and that gives us a maximum allowable offer of $345,000. Let's slow down for a little bit, because the ARV, the 850, is really important that we get it right. We want to make sure that that number is as close to the real number once you are ready to sell the property as possible, because if you are off by a lot, that it means that you might lose a lot of money. I hope that, you know, the market appreciates and you make a ton more, like what happened here in Sudbury, but you want to be spot on. You want to be as close to the real number as possible. Again, the after repair stands for after repair value once you are finished the rehab of the project. But why did I pick $850,000? Why didn't I go with 800? Why didn't I go with 900,000? This is not just a random number that I plug in. I'm going to share with you guys exactly how I found that number on the MLS. So let's go on MLS. I'm a licensed agent, so I have access to the MLS. If you guys are not and you want to be an investor or actively involved in real estate, I highly recommend you become an agent. If not, you need to have an agent on your team. Hire someone that's really good to help you with this analysis. So we're going to search search single family. We're going to select all properties available in the area that we're buying. And I'm going to go and put the address of the property that I'm buying. Again, this is the analysis that I'm doing before buying the property, just when I'm offered the deal from the agent. This is exactly what I do. And the zip code is 01776. So again, I'm plugging in the address of the property, and I want to stay in that same neighborhood. So I'm not looking everywhere in Sudbury, because Sudbury is a pretty big town, or it can be east or west, and you can be far from one side to the other. You want to be specifically in that neighborhood if possible. And typically I'm looking for comparable sales 6 months out, meaning I want to look for houses that sold in the last 6 months in that neighborhood, because that's going to tell me what our property might sell for. That's, again, I'm not guessing. I want to base our number on what sold recently. I'm going to change this though. I'm not going to do 16 months. I'm not going to do 6 months. I'm going to do 18 months, because we are now 10 months later from when I purchased the property. And I want to show you guys the comps that I looked at to determine the value. So let's do 18 months, but on a regular transaction, I would like to keep it at 6. Oops. All right, let's change this. And it looks like I have 7 comparable comps here that I can use. All right, let's slow down for a quick second, because the other thing that's important is that we want to compare similar houses. You don't want to compare a colonial to a ranch. You want to compare houses that look similar in style. Like if you have a split level house, you want to find a comp that's a split level, ideally, in the best scenario. So let's look for that type of property. But I want to show you guys quickly how the property looked on day one, so you could understand the style of this house. This is what it looked like. It was a colonial, I can say. It wasn't a split level ranch. It was definitely a unique style, but it was two floors in height, 2 garage bays, and about 2,500 square feet. So I remember very well that back then, this is the one I was looking at carefully. It's 21 Tudor Street, which is right next to our property. But this is also very good comp, 62 Churchill Street. And I'll tell you guys why I think this is a good comp. If you look at the property, it is very similar. It's just in better condition. You got 2 garages, you got this similar layout, and when you go inside, this one has a pool and great backyard, but when you go inside, it's in decent shape, but it's outdated. It has a kitchen it's old. It's probably 20 years old. Good layout, but we knew our property would look way, way better. Again, I'm taking this comp. It's $785,000, and I will be using it. I'll show you guys how that works on our end, but this is what that property looks like. And the other one is this 62 Churchill Street that sold for 800, and this one sold for $867,000. And this is what it looks like. Again, 2 garage doors, about 2,500 square feet. That's the kitchen. Again, outdated. It's clean, but it's outdated. We knew everything that we would do would be brand new. So these are the comps that we used. And that's how we came up with our $850,000, because we looked at those two comps and we said, if they sold in the 800,000 price range, our property is going to be brand new. Everything is going to be completely new. It got to be worth at least that. So you don't want to assume that's going to be 900,000 or $1 million just because our property is going to be nice and brand new. I still want to use a comp of a similar property that's sold, even the finishes are not the same, because I like being conservative. You guys might watch this and be like, well, you know, he's crazy to stay at the same number because that the house that he's going to renovate is going to be brand new. I want to limit my risk as much as possible. That's why I'm being conservative here. All right, now I think it's a good time to show you guys the after photos. And this is what the property looks like after renovations. So briefly, exterior, interior, everything is brand new. And then I can show you guys the kitchen before when we bought it. Actually, this is the exterior, this shot right here. Look at that. This is the after and this is the before. I think I have one more photo here from the kitchen. Look at the kitchen here, guys. That's on day one. That's pretty much, they left us everything. So that's normal. You know, we don't mind that. We love cleaning it up, but that's what the kitchen looks now. So big difference. Again, everything is brand new. But that 70% rule, I've mentioned it a couple times on my videos. If you guys don't think it's a good formula, or if you run numbers a little differently, I would love to know how you think about it. So please go and comment. Also, show me some loves. Just subscribe, share. I really need the support here to keep doing these videos. So basically, going back to the 70% formula, that's exactly why we chose the $850,000 based on the comps that I just showed you guys. And again, if you're not an agent yourself, you work with an agent that can help you determine the after repair value. The $250,000, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but that's our rehab budget. We plug the number in based on experience, but you can have a general contractor that can help you determine that number. So that is also very important, because people can be off by quite a bit, and that you need to be accurate. You need to be accurate on the ARV, and you need to be extremely accurate on the rehab budget. So that formula showed us that our maximum offer on this property should have been $345,000. And the asking price from the agent was only $325,000. So right off the bat, I knew that I had a good deal. I didn't want to actually negotiate him down on that. I said, I'll take that offer. I'll close in 30 days as is. Tell the homeowner to leave everything behind. It doesn't matter. And that worked. He got it signed, and it worked for him, and he was super excited because he got a commission on that end. He actually got a double commission for finding a buyer, and now we let him list the property after being renovated, and he's extremely happy about that because he's making 3 times commission, right, on the buy and on the sale. So that's why we work well with agents. When they bring us a deal, we gave them the listing back, but we also solved a big problem for the homeowner, because they didn't have to do showings, they didn't have to get a ton of people through the door. We gave them the asking price, we gave them what they asked for, and I showed you guys right now why that is a good deal. It worked with our 70% rule. We are protected here where we can make a decent profit, so why not sign this deal on the spot? So guys, let's go to the other room. Let's go to the whiteboard. I want to show you the profit and loss numbers. Did we make money? Did we lose money? So follow me. Let's go. So guys, we're at the whiteboard, and the reason why I'm sharing all these numbers with you is I want you to be prepared and informed about all the expenses that actually go along a fix and flip project. So last thing you want to do when you take on a project that you are buying, fixing and selling is going into the dark. You need to know those expenses up front. We all love HGTV shows, but this is not an HGTV show. This is a real deal. It's a real property. These are real numbers. And if you run your numbers and your project this way, you're going to make a profit. But you need to know that up front before even buying it. You don't want to go over 6 or 10 months. I spent 10 months of renovating and then be surprised at the end that you actually didn't calculate the mortgage payments correctly, or maybe you didn't know about the commissions and all that stuff, or the closing costs. You want to know all of that up front. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. All right, so let's actually go over these numbers really quick and do a deal analysis, because now, as I mentioned to you guys, we're at the end of the project. These are not exact numbers. I still have to spend some time and actually figure out exact numbers to the penny, but these are very close to the finish analysis. So let's go over each individual cost, because there is a ton of costs, and these are costs that you need to account for in order to make sure that you're going to walk away with a profit. So again, purchase price $325,000, and this is a number that I shared with you guys, and we talked about how we thought about making an offer and why that was a good deal. So that's the purchase price. Lender fees. We get about $8,600 of lender fees. And that is because our hard money lender that we borrow the funds from, he charges us 1%, I believe it's 1.5% maybe for this one, points up front at closing when we buy the house. So that goes to him at closing, at the beginning when we're purchasing the property. Closing costs. You gotta pay attorney fees, you gotta pay title to insure the property, and you gotta also pay property insurance. So the closing cost about $4,000. We didn't spend any money on inspections or surveying, because we did a walkthrough. Now we got enough experience to determine how much in rehab we're going to spend, or at least we try to estimate. But I highly recommend, especially for someone starting out, to hire an inspector. It will cost you $1,000 maybe, but you're going to know upfront how much work it needs from a professional, someone that knows what can be wrong with the house. I highly recommend that you hire someone. But those costs for us was zero. So that's purchase cost. That's something that you actually pay up front, especially these two right here, and the purchase price when you're buying the real estate. The rehab cost was about $310,000, and that is a large number. But keep in mind the property, and I showed you before and after pictures, it needed everything. So it's about 2,500 square feet. And if you take the 310 divided by 2,500 square feet, you had about $125 per square foot in renovation cost. So keep that in mind. If you got a full gut rehab in the Metro West or Greater Boston area, you're probably going to be, especially like in our case where we built a small addition, you're probably going to be at $125 per square feet for full gut rehab. We are not talking about new construction here, we're talking about full gut rehabs. And we used to rehab at about $100 a square feet. Unfortunately now, with the labor going up and the cost of materials going up, we're at about $125 per square foot. So just for easy math. Holding cost. We kept the property for 10 months. We bought it right before New Year's Eve. I think it was December 28th maybe of last year, 2020, and we are selling in October 2021. So we are right at 10 months, which is a long time for a full gut rehab. But again, this property needed everything. So we got mortgage payments at 12% to our hard money lender, and it's about $55,000 that we're paying him for keeping and using his funds for 10 months. Property taxes for 10 months. Again, this is not for the whole year, this is only for the first 10 months, and that's $9,065, and that is calculated based on the town of Sudbury assessed value. This is public information, you can find that. Insurance is about $2,000, utilities about $1,000. Again, these are rough numbers, and utilities, for example, it includes the oil, includes the electric bills, includes the water, because you got those expenses while you're holding the property. So you need to plug that into your expense calculator. The landscape fee, cleaning fee, and miscellaneous fees, I put zero because they are actually included under our rehab cost. And then the selling cost. We were lucky to get $1 million for this property, which is awesome. We listed it at $825. I believe we got 10 offers, and one person said, I'll buy it for $1 million. Cash, no contingencies, that close in 3 weeks. So it just, you know, we can ask for better. We accepted that offer, and we are about 3 days away from closing now as we're shooting this video. The loan payoff, it's about $550,000 because we borrowed about $300,000 to purchase the property, and we borrowed $250,000 to renovate it. I know I mentioned that we spent 310. 60,000 is the difference that we put into the deal because we need to get the rehab done and we went over budget. And if you guys have followed me, you know that I'm still learning the rehab game because it's hard to really predict exactly where you're going to end up with when labor cost goes up and the material costs go up. We're getting better, but we are never actually as we budgeted for. So that's why we buy right up front. Even if something goes wrong, we're still covered. In this case, we went up to 310, but the loan payoff is 550 total. And then we paid 5% to our agent. As I mentioned to you, an agent brought us the deal. We are happy to give him the listing back. We're paying him 5%, which he's going to split with the buyer's agent, and that is $50,000. So we spent $4,500 on staging, and that actually made the property stand out compared to everything else. And even with this property being brand new, staging made it look like a real home, made it very appealing. We highly recommend staging, and Chelsea has been doing an amazing job for us. If you guys need an introduction, let me know. Seller closing cost. Typically what this is again, our attorney. We have to pay our attorney to do the paperwork for the closing, but also Massachusetts stamp tax, which is calculated on the sale price. So this is a rough estimate. We're going to spend somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000, and that is selling cost. The loan payoff, the commission, the staging, seller closing cost, and maybe other little miscellaneous items. But there is a ton of cost, and the reason why I'm sharing this and why actually I want to open this up to you guys is because HGTV, when you look at those shows, it shows the selling price and it shows the purchase price and maybe a rehab, and it's not that. There's so many more fees. If you're borrowing money, you got holding, you got those lender fees. The holding cost can be huge. I mean, look at this. Just the mortgage payments alone is $55,000. So I want to make sure that you guys understand this, because if you're doing a fix and flip of this size, there is a lot of cost. So make sure you have and you capture all these fees. Regardless, this was a great deal for us because this is the profit, $250,000 for a single family home in the greater Boston. It's a good deal, and the only reason why we got such a big profit here is because we bought right, but also because we got a great selling price. And we also got lucky, and you don't want to count on luck, but we got lucky because in the 10 months that we've been holding onto this property, the area appreciated a lot. So I don't want to sound like the genius of an investor here knowing everything, because I don't. I want to be an open book and show you guys our thought process and how we run numbers. But we are I mean it when I say we got lucky, because the town of Sudbury appreciated about 15% by the time we bought the property to the time we sold it. And that's nothing we did. We were just in the game doing this construction. We just got lucky there on that part. I think on a cooler market, probably we would have netted $150,000, which is still a great deal. But we ended up with $250,000 because we were able to sell it for $1 million. And if you remember our 70% rule at the beginning of the video, we said we're gonna actually sell for $850,000. That's what we were hoping for. So that $150,000, it's just a appreciation. Nothing we did. We can control that, and you don't want to count on that. A lot of people nowadays are buying houses thinking that they're going to get that appreciation, because obviously you don't want to count on that. If it happens, great, beautiful. Let's party, we're going to celebrate, but you don't want to count on that every time. That's why we are conservative, and in this case we're pleasantly surprised and we're happy about it. So guys, I'm really excited about the profit that we made, and this was overall a great deal. I hope you're loving this content, and I hope it's helpful. I know you got questions, and probably you are thinking different things, so go and comment below, because I really want to read those questions and feedback, and maybe make our videos better. One thing to remember is we got a Excel spreadsheet that we use for our fix and flips, and I'm happy to email that over to you. Just reach out to me on Instagram at Whiteacre Properties, Facebook, same thing, at Whiteacre Properties, or you can just email me directly, Enis at Whiteacre Properties. We'll put that link, or I'll put the address right below here, Enis at whiteacreproperties.com. But I'm happy to share the Excel spreadsheet that we use, our contractors, if you guys need electrician, plumbers, HVAC, whoever you need, happy to share our contacts. Our stager is amazing, happy to share her information. But reach out, because that's why I'm here. I want to give back to you guys. And yeah, that's a wrap. See you on the next one. So that's a wrap. See you on the next one. Longer than that? Come on.